Jayden Daniels is easily the best rookie quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I mean, in the first half, 8-play drive, 10-play drive, 11-play drive, you're like, whoa, what am I watching? I've just never seen anything like this. His poise is unprecedented. He's like Lamar Jackson. He's a little bit of a running back. He's not quite as dynamic as Lamar the runner, but he is so twitchy and so quick. His instincts on running plays are insane. He's patient, but can dart in and out of traffic. He can be simultaneously sudden and patient.
All season, when the Washington Commanders, with the moves they make, now everybody's looking like, oh my God. So you got champions in the building, veterans who've been there and done that. You have talented rookies and young guys. They had a really good draft cast. You got guys starting to develop. De'Ami Brown had 6 catches for 98 yards. You already have one Pro Bowl receiver and Scary Terry McLaurin, 4 for 87 and a touchdown in this game. And then the guys that are starting to develop really, really start to grow when you get a guy like Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz in the building. They can have conversations with a young quarterback and help him understand how he's supposed to be leading, how his team is seeing him, how his team is perceiving him, and how he should be carrying himself so that he could continue to elevate his team. And that's what he's done. He's elevated the guys around him. Are you going to, I know people aren't going to sit here and tell me he has the better roster than the other guys that went out in the first round. Now you're, let's make that argument. Tell me he's got a better roster than the Green Bay Packers. Tell me that's what you thought coming into this season, that he has a better roster than the LA Chargers. But they're playing better. They're playing inspired football. He's going out there. It's a different mindset when you have a quarterback and you're playing defense, Mitchell, and you got a guy that can go get it. Regardless of the circumstances, regardless of who he's going against, he's going to find a way. So if you can give him a few extra possessions, you can get him a stop or two. He's going to go make some magic happen. Mitchell, that got to feel good. That has to feel good. And that's what it looks like, because these guys look like they believed because he believes. And they gave him extra possessions. He put up 45 in a playoff game. They put up 45 points as a team, because they did have the pick 6, but 45 points, that's a lot of points. And all you're hearing about was how Detroit was going to put up a lot of points. And I know Jared Goff is going to take a lot of heat in this game. He did have the 3 interceptions and only 1 touchdown. But, I mean, what you going to do? Guys are making plays, Mitchell. You got to find a way to I don't know, make better decisions. You got to find a way to execute better down the stretch for sure, Jared. He's a veteran quarterback who's been to a Super Bowl. You definitely have to make better decisions, and you have to be safer with the football. And he had been for the most part. And so he's going to get a lot of well-deserved criticism this offseason from both the fan base and I'm sure the pundits out there, because it did look kind of like he reverted back a little bit in this game, at least in this game. It looked like he reverted back to the younger Jared Goff. He got kind of flustered. His footwork wasn't what it used to be. The ball was kind of floating on him a little bit. And once they got behind, they weren't able to lean on the run game like they had in the past. I still think Jahmyr Gibbs had a heck of a game, 14 carries for 105 yards, 6 catches for 70 yards. He did everything he could. 175 all-purpose yards in the game. That's impactful. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches for 137. Sam Laporta, 6 receptions, 51 yards, and a one-handed touchdown. Sure, your guys showed up, but those critical interceptions and giving this guy the ball, Mitchell, you cannot give this guy the ball because he's going to score. That's why I think next week against the Eagles is going to be a really interesting game, just because how the last game ended. Now, I know Jalen Hurts was injured at the end of that game, but Jalen Hurts doesn't play defense. And their defense still gave up 36 points. C.J. Gardner-Johnson got kicked out of that game. I think it was in the second half. So, yes, that's impactful. But sometimes just seeing your team have success and understanding that they're having success against the starters, against the Philadelphia Eagles, that was their starting defense still. That gave up 36 points to the Washington Commanders. I want to say that might be the most they gave up all year.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're talking about the Washington Commanders, who secured a 4-5, 3-1 victory against the Detroit Lions a couple of evenings ago. I'll keep it real with you. Most of my family is from the Detroit area, so I was 100,000% rooting for the Detroit Lions. That has nothing to do with Washington, but you've got to tip your cap and give credit where it's due. This win sends the Washington Commanders to their first NFC Championship game since the 1991 NFL season. Let's zoom out for a moment. Just 1 year ago, the Washington Commanders had wrapped up a disappointing 4-13 season. It wasn't a Bolt wrap, a Caesar chicken wrap, or a Buffalo chicken wrap, it was just bad. Honestly, it sucked. Last year, there were some interesting developments with Washington's roster. Sure, there was talent, but it seemed like it might not work out with Washington. Then they went out and made some big moves, hiring Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, and a bunch of other geniuses for their coaching and management positions. Before this season, Washington hadn't won 11 or more games since 1991. But they just finished the regular season at 1-5, and now they're one win away from advancing to the Super Bowl. So folks, welcome back to the channel. We're obviously discussing the Commanders tonight. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for daily NFL content. I know it's been way too long since my last Commanders video, but I've been big on this team mainly because I was high on quarterback Jayden Daniels, who was selected with the 2nd overall pick. Unbelievable. They found their franchise quarterback. No matter how Sunday's game against Philadelphia ends, the Washington Commanders have their guy. Daniels hasn't fumbled a single game. He got banged up at one point, but my only concern heading into the NFL with Jayden healthy. That was a question mark along with the offensive line. How would Bates and Leno perform? Those were the offseason concerns less than a year ago, but Daniels has done a phenomenal job. Sure, he got banged up during the regular season, but overall, he's been amazing. Washington entered that game against Detroit on a 6-game winning streak, including 5 last-play victories. On Saturday evening, the Commanders led by 17 points halfway through the 4th quarter. They had it locked unless this was a game of Madden on rookie mode. Jayden Daniels finished the game 22 of 31 for 299 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He also added 16 carries for 51 yards and, most importantly, had no turnovers. Daniels joined former Baltimore Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco, 2008, as the only rookie QBs to lead their teams to the #1 seed in the playoffs. Washington gained nearly 500 yards on offense, held the ball for 34 minutes, and didn't commit a single turnover. That was Detroit's worst nightmare come true. Now, I'm a Lions fan at heart, or at least I root for Detroit because of family ties, but I also have a Detroit Lions YouTube channel. I said before that the Commanders could beat the Lions not by scoring 30 points, but by taking the opening kickoff scoring and then stopping Detroit defensively. That didn't entirely happen as predicted. Instead, Washington scored over 30 points first, finishing with 45 total points, 38 from the offense and 7 from a pick-6. Sure, Detroit's defense was riddled with injuries, but that doesn't take away from what Washington accomplished. They played their cards right and capitalized on their opportunities. What we're seeing from Jayden Daniels right now is nothing short of impressive. I won't go full ESPN and declare him the best rookie quarterback ever, but he's definitely up there. Daniels has been cool, calm, and poised. He's a leader, a winner, and as the kids say these days, he's got that aura or it factor. If you watched him at LSU during his Heisman winning year, you'd know this guy is special. Staying healthy was my only concern for Daniels heading into the NFL, and he's managed that well. He's led the Commanders through a tough NFC division, featuring strong teams like Dallas and Philadelphia. Washington was projected to finish 107 at best, but they've surpassed expectations, winning 2 playoff games on the road, one against Tampa Bay and the other against Detroit, both top 5 offenses. This Washington team feels like a team of destiny. I'm not a huge Philadelphia Eagles supporter, but I'll be 100,000% rooting for the Commanders on Sunday. That's it for today's video. It's been way too long since our last Commanders update. Let me know if you'd like to see more content like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe for daily NFL content and share your thoughts on the Detroit game in the comments below. See you in a few days. Peace.